which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And audience, I know that you're facing the screen. You can feel free to change your chairs and face us if we're more interested. All right, are there any changes to the agenda, to the consent agenda that we should know about and make a motion on? All right, I think I will, even though this is just a recognition, let's go ahead. I will ask to have the rescind resignation notice because that's my daughter, so I'll have that removed from the consent agenda and voted on separately, and I'll recuse myself from that. So.
Okay.
All right. Change to the agenda. Public comments. Cool. We are ready for our first session of public comments. And you have agendas that have the norms on them, as well as online. You can see the norms that we have set. And we will open it up to anybody from the floor or online to share their thoughts. It's always a slow one when we haven't actually done anything tonight, so cool. All right. Then we have Dante back, student representative report. Welcome back, Dante.
Thank you. So a lot happened actually. So last Friday we had a Six Flags trip. Student count was like 18, I think, and I was on it as well. And a couple of my friends went. I think like three. That are really close friends went, and other students, they said they had a good time, but there was one group, they for some reason went on like 2 kiddie rides, and then one of their friends told me, he came back and told me that he was like, I didn't actually have that great of a time at Six Flags. And then I asked him why. He's like, he went on 2 kiddie rides, and I said, why'd you do that? And he said, I don't know. But I went on around 4 rides. I think I went on Harley Quinn, Superman, Wicked Cyclone, and Batman. I had a blast. So, but I was definitely screaming on every ride. Not a huge, like, I'm not very comfortable with roller coasters, but I love them. You know what I mean? It's like a very amazing feeling whenever you're on a roller coaster. Like the adrenaline rush is very fun, but then it's still very scary to be on a roller coaster, especially if you've watched Final Destination before. It's very, very scary, but it was still a very great time. And then prom also happened the day after the Six Flags trip, and prom committee, we had a few things that were a little tight just to fit in all the planning and everything. But overall, I think it was a pretty big success in my opinion. And I had a fun time at prom, and I think we did pretty good with the venue. The venue was very, very nice in my opinion. And the food was also pretty great. But I will say our DJ was questionable. We didn't really have any like background knowledge on our DJ, so we hired him, and from what I heard, he apparently ate like 10 slices of our pizza that was meant for the students. So I was a little confused, and he kept coming out of his little like DJ area just to like come back and keep eating stuff, and I was just like, what are you doing? Like, of course I expected him to eat some of the food, but not 10 slices. I was very But then, also on top of that, he also had some
best report ever.
he also had some very questionable music selections that everybody kept coming over to me and asking, or like other people part of the prom committee. They were like, "What is he playing?"
Like what? Like what? Give us an example.
Well, I don't know. It was like these like very like there was songs that people knew, but then it was like odd remixes of it. You know what I mean? It's like very strange remixes that made it sound worse. And then the transitions between songs were questionable at best. It was very like very rough, because sometimes like the song would just like pause and then it would go to the next song. Everybody was so confused because we were kind of just standing there waiting, because his transitions were so confusing that over the entirety of the prom, every time he would switch to another song, or it seemed like he was about to switch to another song, everybody just kind of stopped dancing and then looked at each other and waited. But overall, I still think it was a pretty great time, despite the DJ doing some questionable things. And then seniors, today was senior skip day, and I think mostly everybody participated in senior skip day because one of my friends. Yeah.
This explains why I was able to get a parking spot today.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And mostly everybody participated. I think it's very obvious considering my friend is in a class with a bunch of seniors, and he told me he was the only one that was there in his class. And we have classes adjacent to each other. So when I was taking a little break in pre-calc, I look over into because all the doors have like a little window. So I look over inside, and then he's genuinely just sitting there alone. I felt really bad because it's just like, where are all the other students? And then I remembered it's senior skip day. But then I also wondered, what is he going to do after all these seniors are gone? Because they leave a lot earlier than all the underclassmen. They leave this Friday, actually, which is also leading to my next thing. Senior send-off is coming up soon, which is it's just like an event to kind of like, I don't really know how to explain it, but kind of congratulate the seniors and send them off in like a high spirits kind of way. So, because, we're obviously going to miss these seniors. At least I know I will, because I basically grew up with all these guys, and they're just 1 year above me. So seeing them grow up, a little sentimental, and seeing them go after all this time, spending all this time together, it's definitely gonna be a sharp blow to my heart. But we're celebrating with, I think, a barbecue and ice cream. It's a great combo for them. And that's about all I have.
That's a lot. That's cool. Thank you. All right. Any input?
Dante, can I ask you a quick question? It has nothing to do with this, but are seniors parking at the community field
Like,
if they have a car?
usually, like, do you mean like just every day, like to school?
Yeah, there was a discussion about the parking lot being full, and I said, I don't think anybody's parking there.
No, usually I think most seniors usually just park in the school parking lot
Okay.
with their parking passes.
Yeah, I didn't think that was true.
So Sandy, sometimes in the past, there has been more drivers than parking spots. So some of those kids park at various points, or someone might get their license during the school year and not be able to get a parking pass. So they might park down at community field.
But it's not like we're filling up community fields.
I have no idea, but I know that sometimes students have parked there.
Okay.
I would think construction workers are filling up community field.
I know, somebody told me that, and I said, I don't think that's true. Like, okay. Thank you.
You're such an advocate. You're lying.
Yeah, that's not true.
Excellent report,
Thank you.
Dante. Nicely done. All right, anything else for Dante? Okay, cool. Superintendent's report.
Well, thank you, Dante, for that report. Just a few little notes on that. I love roller coasters, and that would have been fun. I think would have been great. I've been on Superman and Batman and so forth several times. Love it. Very smooth, very fast. Good times. The prom, I was the DJ. Just joking. But he described what it would have been like had I been the DJ. Music that was not transitioning properly.
It's so funny because he came in with all this
Listen, it would have been me.
he came in with all this huge equipment, and I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely, because when he first came in, it was like all this huge equipment, like 2 big JBL speakers, and then like his whole setup, and he had something to cover up his whole setup, and I was like, oh yeah, this is probably gonna be a great DJ. And then halfway in, I was like, well, what's going on?
I would have shown up with my laptop and maybe a couple speakers, little tiny ones. It would have been okay.
Would you have eaten 10 slices of pizza?
Where did you get it from?
Domino's.
I can't, I won't, yeah. Superintendent's report. Okay, actually, there is a PDF online, but because sometimes it gets printed sideways, I'm gonna go and use this presentation. It's gonna allow me to. Short one tonight overall. We'll just continue the conversation from last time with system changes, 2026, 2027. A little bit of an update tonight. Summer construction plan. So last time we talked a little bit about the track, and that's underway, but also the school board approved going forward with some window replacements and some flooring replacements over at the elementary schools. And then, for fun, one sample problem that we'll do with the New Hampshire SAS. So all those individuals who are watching at home can get your pencils or pens or something out with some paper to kind of scribble this down. It will be a good time of problem solving. The Education Committee has already seen this problem, so you're not allowed to speak, but that's okay. So most of this was shown last time, and what we'll see here is that there's actually supposed to be an arrow that was part of this, but apparently it's not showing up, and hopefully it is online with the PDF. But basically, last time we didn't have that squared away. And so we have, for a while now, been looking to see what we were going to do for RMS for next year, as we had the principal and assistant principal moving along to some other opportunities that they have. And we have certainly wish them the best, but also want to make sure that we continue on in a strong fashion. And so we have a fortunate thing within our district over the past 6 or so years. We've had leadership academies at this school district in collaboration with Keene State College. We designed those for the type of leadership model that we have in the district, which is a collective leadership model, meaning more people provide voice and input and creativity into the runnings of the entire organization. And we believe that leadership is a practice and not a position. But we do have a couple individuals who have gone through that, have also finished their degrees and been certified, and have done internships with our current principal actually over at RMS. And so the two of them came and said we'd like to be part of the solution. And so we've worked out a bunch of details, and congratulations to Heather Dean and James Gallagher, both whom have been here in the district for quite some time. Heather for quite a while, over I think 20 years now. And so at Range Memorial School. And so both of them have a deep love for the community, for the kids at Range Memorial School, and certainly have great relationships with teachers and know the progress that has been made, where we've been, where we are now, and where we're going. There's going to be a lot of learning, a lot of work to do. I'll be certainly a piece of that when we see that word support. The superintendent, myself, my position is going to be the primary support for them there, but we also have all those other people who are up on that screen, the David Dustin and Kim Baker and Deanna Zilski. They're going to be wrapping around as well. We know that we're all in this together, and that we're excited to be growing our own, and that it's going to be a busy year, but I think a very exciting year, and you will see that we will continue to progress. We'll send this information out to families within the next day or two, probably tomorrow, and then get a press release as well for the papers. It's going to be a little bit of a different type of leadership position, but again, with our collective leadership model, collective being more than one, that this we'll call it a co-principal. They'll be functioning as like co-principals with the support of the superintendent and others. So that's just an update, and that was finalized today. Facilities update. The track continues to be really, it's being stripped right now of everything. So the rubber has been removed, and some of the surface that was over by the pole vaulting area and the long jump area and so forth, that's been, the actual pavement's been removed, and there's going to be some rebuilding there. Some of the fence work is being rebuilt as well, also just for safety. We've talked about some of that before as to why we would do that, and it's on right now. It's going really well. It seems to be on track, and July 17th still is that date that we are estimating the end of it, of the construction to be. But we're watching that very closely. And then Commercial Builders, the group that we provided the contract to, is going to be starting on June 22nd, so Monday. They're going to start on everything in some capacity because they'll have different crews working on it, but the replacement of the windows at RMS in a specific area. If there are windows that if you were driving by RMS, you would, and you have that, it's not a cul-de-sac, it used to wrap around, but there's a little semicircle, it's not even that anymore, but you would go up there, there's some old windows in those areas that are in need of, well, not just repair, but replacement. Similarly, at JGS, on the bottom of the front-facing windows, the bottom row of those, that's what those windows are. And then the small cafeteria windows, we've had some damage to those, and so those are, that's not a big project, that won't take too long, there's about 3 of them. And then some reflooring projects. Some of that's safety, and some of that is aesthetics and redoing some of the work to make sure that's done properly. There are certainly other facilities work that, or jobs that we are eyeballing. We need to see how we plan toward the end of the year with finances, but we do have some quotes out for the rekeying of all internal doors at Jaffrey Grade School. And that would be about $30,000. We have some work that is happening on a regular basis in there because the doors, the locks need to be replaced. That's a good price. And we also have some work there at the front of the building where those concrete stairs are and the poles, and so we have that priced out as well to, with Apollo Steel, to do some of that work as well, but we're holding off on it because we need to see where our encumbrances land for the year. That's about a $6,500 job. So those are 2 items that we're just kind of looking at to see if there's any way we can get those in before the end of the year. But if we can't, that's fine. They'll go on the revised multi-year plan that we need to be putting together this summertime. That will be more about maintenance and really just upkeep of the building, not a lot of new big projects. So that's the tack we're going to be taking to reorganize the calendar on that. And then New Hampshire SAS testing. Math, reading and writing, and also science. The science questions will be fun when we get to those, but this is a math question. This is a typical math question that is on the New Hampshire SAS. And so I thought we'd just take a minute maybe, just to, if you want to scribble, you want to write, you want to talk this through, just a problem. We can discuss what grade level it's at. That's a good problem.
This is a question, but we have somebody from the online audience raising their hand.
To explain it?
but potentially, I don't know.
Give
Or
it-
show off.
Well, yeah, we'll show up. Well, that would be
Thanks,
great
ChatGPT.
if the board would entertain that. We can do that, but let's give it a little bit more time. It's important for people to be able to kind of trial and error this. And so when a, yes,
You can't see the question online.
you can't see the question
I just fixed
online?
that.
Okay, can they now?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, thank you for letting us know that.
Sometimes when the kids get on that computer and they have to choose the answer, well, the question's not even there. You just kind of make it up. All right, would anyone like to take a crack at it? How many think it's A? Oh, no one. B?
I'm gonna guess B too.
Yeah,
We've got several
excited.
Bs. Good. C? D? All right, would someone like to explain their answer? And how they found it?
The only way that I did it was because I counted across, so the
Okay.
width was 15 of the blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only one that had any increments that had to do with fives was B. And so that's as far as I got.
Oh.
Oh, don't do
Interesting.
that.
Do you
That's
know-
so condescending.
No, that's,
You math
I
teacher.
like that. That's good. Yeah. Did you understand what she meant by increments of 5? Okay.
I did the same thing, except then I multiplied the denominators and got the bottom number.
Okay. You multiply the denominators, the 4 and the 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Did anyone else choose to solve it a different way?
I just counted 45 squares. I knew I had to do that one.
Yeah, 45 squares. Yeah.
All right.
What's the area of a rectangle? What's the formula? Length times width. Yeah, so, yeah, B it is. Good. And then there's a couple other ways to do this as well.
And what grade level is that?
That's,
First grade.
well, no, it's a fifth grade. It's a fifth grade assessment.
So is that 10 years old? 11 years?
Yeah, about
11.
11, 10 and
10,
11.
11 years
Yeah.
old. Okay.
Yep. So it's
All right. Thumbs up from the floor. How'd you guys do?
We left it up to you. We thought it was a board test, so.
The board did well.
No, it's definitely a community test. All right. Any questions for Ruben on this? I would love, you had said to me before we started
Mhm.
that with Heather and Jimmy's appointment, they
Mhm.
did speak to RMS
Mm.
and talk to them about it, and that you had received some input from that. So would you mind just giving us a temperature on what RMS is feeling about this transitional opportunity?
Sure. Well, just, I would have liked to have been over there during the announcement, but I'd been over to RMS this morning already. I talked to Nikki, and I think it's important that a very beloved principal gets to have an opportunity to hand off this torch. It's going to be nice for transition planning as well. And again, with these two individuals who actually interned underneath her. So I asked how it went. I had to do a couple of different interviews today for different positions, and so they said very well. Staff seemed excited and relieved. And then another individual said, yes, lots of happy faces and relieved staff. And I think it's going to be great. Again, we had focus groups. I did some focus groups with staff. I did some focus groups with some parents. to find out what it was that they were really looking for, and this is the solution that best matches what the responses were by both groups, who were in really unison. If they had been together, it would have been unison. I mean, we have a member in the audience as well, maybe during public comments or something like that, or a couple members actually, who could probably speak what they thought about it, but again, they would have been eyewitnesses to the conversation.
And then my next note on that is just to make sure the public understands this is not an interim situation we're looking at. We're not saying, oh, we're going to fill this spot with 2 people while we look for a new principal. That's not the intention. The intention is that this would be the leadership roles currently. We can only go to year with our budgets, but this isn't a position that, no, we're not keeping a principal application out there for people. This is our solution.
Yeah. I responded to all candidates, other candidates that had applied, indicating that we were choosing a different model, thanking them that would keep their information on record.
Any other board input or questions for the superintendent report?
Well, some of us had a chance to meet with Jimmy and Heather last week. And for those people who don't know, these new assistant principals, which I did not know them before. I'd seen them, but I have never had a conversation with them before. So I want to share my impression, which is that they're very passionate about RMS. They spoke about wanting to keep forward momentum, about maintaining the culture. You could see the dynamic of how they would work together. I felt I'm very grateful that Ruben put this meeting together. I could see how much they cared for the staff and for the children at RMS, and it was a relief. This is losing Nikki and Ashley is very difficult.
And David too. Yeah.
And David too,
Yep.
Thank you. And I didn't know what RMS would look like next year, and I feel like RMS is in good hands. And thank you for taking on the mentoring of these very qualified leaders, bringing them up to the next level.
And they're going to have some, I would say, roles at JGS. We're working that out. It's not like a situation where they'll spend a day here and a day there, but there will be some very specific roles that they will provide support to JGS for as well. So that, because they are district-minded and wanting to make sure that both elementary schools are getting the support we need. As you talked about, losing both assistant principals as well as the principal at RMS is a lot. But these individuals are committed, they have expertise, and they're excited to see people flourish as our mission states, so that we thrive in our lives and communities.
I think it'd be correct to say that they both are well-liked and respected by the parents in the community. I'll add that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, anything further for Ruben?
I just have a community question about the track area. Are the tennis courts still open to the public?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And there are pickleball lines on the tennis courts in case you are a pickleball player.
That's really why I was asking. It was just
That's-
personal. I just made it
I go out
sound
there and hit
good.
every once in a while, and there's just the two of us out there sometimes. And it's pickleball as well. Yep.
Okay. All right, then let's move on to the consent agenda. And we'll take a motion to accept the consent agenda. What we have on it is manifest, payroll, installment payments for community transportation, special education runs. We have 5 appointments. We have 6 resignations. And we separated out Amanda Wiley's rescission of the, what is it, what is that word?
Rescinding?
Rescinding of her resignation. We have an internal transfer of Heather Dema from CMS Art to JGS Art. Cool. And there is the stipend list. So we'll take a motion to accept the consent agenda as amended.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Christine. And a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Sandy. Any discussion on any of the items? We can talk about any of these.
Do we, like, we're still losing a lot of people? Do we anticipate that there's another chunk of people leaving?
So we knew that Ashley Flamino was choosing another path, and Patty Boulay is also going to another district. Her replacement is in the appointments. I believe Ashley, I don't know how to say the last name, to be honest with you, to Cigna. Carrie that's a retirement situation that will happen after the summertime when audit is done. If you look at the non-public minutes, however, there is more conversation around that, so Carrie will not be leaving us entirely. She'll be with us next year in a different capacity, so that will be good for us. Cindy Swan, fantastic for her. She's been doing a lot of professional development and is going to take a role in the area of speech and language as a support in another district, a position that we didn't have an opening for. And so Ms. Buell, that's a more recent one. That is a more recent one that came in. And then we have been kind of waiting to see over the past week or two what was going to happen with Karen. Karen's been a great teacher for us. Sorry to see her leave, but the solution as it would be a solution in a sense is that Amanda Wiley, I know this is not in the consent agenda, it's not been taken out, but she's rescinding her resignation if the board allows for that to take place, and then would be transferred into that role, so the position would be filled. So I can tell you that right now, we actually just opened up some positions because we have Heather and Jimmy over taking different roles, so some of that may be filled by asking people who have been non-renewed, not in a way, or not so much a non-renewal, but RIF, a reduction in force, so we can recall those individuals, and then once we see how that lands, we'll know better where we're at. We hired, Friday, a math teacher for the middle school. I believe I'll be having another interview for another middle school math teacher soon, and I'll be I will actually be attending a teaching session with another person who's applying for a high school math position here. And then today I interviewed for a couple other open positions. One we hired, and that will be a replacement. I don't know if she's on here. Yep. Yes, Michelle Babbitt. That was this morning, and so we put her on the agenda. And so the good news is we'll have a few, maybe 3 right now of openings. So hopefully we'll be in good shape by June 1st. That's not a bad place to be.
Ruben, is the para that's being hired as of June 1st, is that going to continue for next year, or is that just for the remainder of this year?
Yep, Lindsay, so many of you know that Lindsay was in the Little Oriole Center, and so we had a reduction in those teachers, and so she has taken a role over as a para-educator in RMS, and so she's starting now,
Okay.
And then she's going into next year, yes.
In the fall, okay.
Yep. Yes.
Can we also just show the stipend list for the public to see it? I didn't have a problem with it, but just so people can
Sure.
be aware of what the stipend list is. Great.
If people have tutoring support, that means that there's often a necessity around credit, either credit recovery or competency work. Now that the Ed 306s are indicating if they don't have competency in a specific area, they are to be either retained or to take something over again. It all depends on what grade level we're talking about. Room moves, those are basically a person's per diem. They get a day, that's written in their contract if they are to move from one room to another location. There is a fair amount of movement happening at the elementary schools in particular, just so that you're aware. School counselor work days are also contractual, all those.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the consent agenda as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Passes 700. And then we'll move on to the resignation rescinding and take a motion to approve that, please.
I move that we allow Amanda Wiley to rescind her resignation.
Thank you, Sandra. A second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Christine. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Passes 600. Okay, we have minutes from the May 18th meeting, both the public and the non-public. Please take a look to make sure that you were here. I believe everybody was here for those. We'll take a motion to approve both the public and the non-public minutes for May 18th.
Motion to approve?
Thank you, Judy. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Sandy. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Passes 700. On to discussion items. Any discussion items? Great. We are so getting out of here early.
Don't say it.
Awesome.
Use it.
I love it. Okay. Then we'll go on to the action items. This is a request to waive facility fees from the Ringe Rec Department for summer basketball camp from June 22nd to August 6th. And for the Ringe Recreation Department Adult Pickup Basketball Program, RMS Gym, June 14th to August 30th. And so this was brought, my understanding, so I haven't looked at any of the paperwork on these, which actually would be helpful probably to see the FRBO paperwork when they come in. So I would like clarification, because we did talk about this at our recent policy meeting. The summer basketball camp, I understand, is not actually a Ringe Recreation program. It's actually a private organization, not a nonprofit, it is a profit program that is under the auspices of the Ringe Rec Department. And so the Ringe Rec Department does get some percentage from them, but our district does not for using the facilities. And so the policy committee unanimously recommended not approving a facility fee waiver for them because this was technically a profit, until at least we have more discussion as larger groups about how we need our facilities to be cared for and monitored. Monitoring was a really big one. So both for security and for management of the facilities themselves, we recommend that this not be approved as a waiver for that they would use our facilities, but for the fee that's in our policy, KFB, so whatever the policy is. The adult pickup program, I don't believe that is a fee-based, that is a Ringe Rec program. It's not a private program. So we should probably do these separately and have the discussion separately on those. It's two different things. So, open to discussion, people.
What have we done in the past on these?
In the past, we have waived. But there's always been a question, who are we waiving it for? There has been a lot of gray area because we have a pretty strict policy on if it's a for-profit organization, then they should be paying for use of our facilities. Because they go under a nonprofit and they go that route rather than directly to us, we have been waiving them. But the policy committee has been looking at this for a while and saying that we've got to be more responsible with paying attention to what our usage is. So.
But it's still the Ringe Rec Department. It's a town group. Right.
No, it's an outside group going through the Ringe Rec Department. So the Ringe Rec Department is putting it on their website and registering, is advertising it. That's their role.
But someone's making a profit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little bit confused. So the Ringe Rec Department summer basketball camp from 6/22 to 8/6, you're suggesting that we don't allow that? Is that
Not
right?
at our facilities. I mean, there's, assuming there's other facilities, they use our facilities not for the whole program. They would be, I think that they increased the usage, like it used to be able to use other places for a bit, but I think they were asking for it for more. But I don't know. Again, I don't have the Frevo document. But yes, they are asking to use our facilities. One of the things that comes up with our facilities is the timing of when we have to be waxing and caring for them, and just the conflict with, okay, we're doing our work on our own building. How are we doing that with our custodial staff being at a premium right now, and still having time for a profit to come in, but not getting any fees for that? So we're not saying they can't do it. That's not what this conversation is. We're not saying don't come. We will work around the facilities maintenance piece of it. We're saying the policy committee said this isn't something that we should be charging. The fees that are outlined in the policy, nothing, not extra.
So I don't have any idea what the fees are.
I was going to ask this thing.
They're
Do you
in,
know what they
you don't know what the
would
fees are? So if you go to, do you want me to do it, or?
You can try, I can try as well.
Okay, so just, if you go to SAU 47, go to school board, go to policies. Look in the Ks, or even just at the top, type in probably fee, or what would be a good, what would be a good search term? Oh, you know what? We can't get it. Oh, not even gonna go there. So, I can find it real quick, hang on. I think it's policy KFR, maybe somebody else here can?
Barely.
I may have downloaded
I can see it's blank.
Yeah, there's issues we're still working out.
So this isn't about telling them that they can't use it. It's about
Correct.
allowing them to use it, but what are we going to charge for a fee, or if a fee?
Correct, and the fees have been outlined for years in the policy. I think it's policy KF and KFR. Our policies are the procedures. We don't have that many of them, but this one we wanted to make sure we had the fee structure in it.
Do we definitely know how this is being run by the rec department? Because when he ran this program for the Jaffrey Rec, he was hired by the Jaffrey Recreation Department. So the Jaffrey Recreation Department paid his salary.
Okay, I believe, my understanding is that this is the Pure Shot program, which is not that. But again, I don't have the Frevo. Okay, so can I see your thing? I'll show you. Nope, may I have
Oh,
your
yes. Yep.
projector? Okay. Wait for that to come up. All right, so if you go to school board, Go down to policies. This is where all the policies are. It's really important that the board members spend time in these. I know there's hundreds of them, but this is our main job. Like, this is what we do as policy. So this is really important that we spend time in them. If you go to policies and look at KFR, this is KF, and again, KF is the general short policy, KFR is the procedures. This was last updated last July, and what it did was this has been years of updates. Every year it seems it comes back. So this describes how user groups request our facilities. This describes what access people will get, and every group asks for, and every group receives different access, that everybody needs background checks and fingerprinting, and that goes into, I say everybody, there's 5 paragraphs on what everybody entails. I'm not going to read this whole thing out. It has different entities, and the entity for the rec departments fall under number 4, municipal and community services. And 5 is businesses, for-profit entities. Groups in 5, businesses, for-profit entities, are eligible to be charged fees related to events held at JRCSD facilities. Organizations may offset costs through a memorandum of agreement to be reviewed annually. If no agreement is reached, these groups may submit a petition to the school board to have fees waived. Fee waivers will be reviewed by the school board at the next regularly scheduled meeting. Waivers will be granted or denied on a case-by-case per-event basis. The fee waiver form may be accessed through the business office. We have an online system called Frevo, so if you hear us say Frevo, that's the name of the online system that people submit their requests through. And then we have custodial fees, and it's there. And if we go down, this is, all right, this is the fee schedule. Okay? It's all there.
So there's custodial support fees, and then per facility is 20.
So let's do each of these in turn. Any further questions? Actually, let's do this since I have this. All right.
Karen just brought that up, and it's.
Okay, so yeah, it is Pure Shot Basketball Camp.
So where all the fees are, that's per daily use of or hourly use of the facility, is that correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
and that one, Jim?
He's asking the fees, is that a per day, per diem, or per hour?
Okay.
Per week.
Yeah, I think it's per.
I know it doesn't really say.
And
doesn't
who
really say.
is Pure Shot Basketball Camp? Like,
Hang on,
who
one
runs
question
that,
at
or
a
is
time,
that-
one question at a time. Okay, so to answer that, okay.
So up above, there's the $45 an hour for custodial fees.
Yep.
So that's like separated from the stuff below.
Yeah. So I believe that this is going to be, space fee schedule I would assume, would be per event. So not for summer or season, but per event that they're happening.
Yeah, because they're asking for quite some time, so if you took that by almost like a daily bed, that'd be very, very expensive. So I guess my question is, when
So
you're in
let's go
a
back
time
to-
slot like that, is there a generalized total fee for it plus the custodian, or it's kind of confusing to me.
We have not, we've looked around at what other school districts have done, and many other school districts have a, almost like a season's pass, or.
Yeah, well, that's what I
And
was thinking.
we don't have that at the moment, but it is something we would like to look at.
Well, I think so, because, I mean, that, I don't know how you divide that to these dates. That
Right.
kind of gets pretty confusing then.
Okay, so I'm seeing Pure Shots doing, week 1 would be June 22nd to 25th for those 3 hours. And so if we go back, how many weeks are they looking for?
I think 6. 5 or 6.
Yeah, do they do that like every day or
5 weeks.
4 days a week,
4 days a week? Okay.
but some days it's at Franklin
Yeah.
Pierce.
And I wasn't sure, I just want to take a peek and see if they were looking at being at RMS. So this week, they're at Jaffrey Grade. So week 1 at, then here's the Jaffrey Grade School. Then,
And there are 45 participants, you know, if it's full.
and they're what?
45 students are allowed to attend.
Right.
Yeah. And then the third week, they're using Franklin Pierce University Fieldhouse, and they do pay fees for that. I do not have the amount, but they do pay facilities fees for that.
So somebody's, there's a thought to request
Four
to
was
waive the facility fees, but we don't really have a price put together.
RMS.
I think Dan asked you something.
Okay, and they don't have a location for week 5. So currently, they have listed 2 at Jaffrey, 1 at Ringe, and they don't have a week for, location for week 5 at this point. So if we go back, hang on, okay. Is that right? Oh, hang on.
So
Get
just
back
the
to
space fees would be
Did I lose my
$350.
email? I lost my email.
$350 for the facilities?
Just the space
lost the
fee,
policy.
yeah.
Not including the custodian fees.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but if they're having 45 participants at $100 each, they're bringing in a good amount of money. So you've got to weigh that out.
The custodian fees are separate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're $45 an hour, but
Mhm.
do you bring them in every time you use it, I'm assuming, right?
So the group would pay for the custodian fees regardless? That's how
According
it
to
The
Sure.
group
works?
should. That's not currently what's been happening. But yes, the
But
group
that's,
should.
okay, that's a separate.
When we waive fees, we waive fees, which has been an issue, like, why, this has been a big concern.
Well, my question is still whether is he being employed by the rec department to run this program?
So Sandy, in the past, I can't speak to Pure Shop, but I know a little bit about the karate program, which is also a for-profit organization that runs through the rec department. And when I've spoken to the karate instructor in the past about facility fees, she was very confused because, you know, I think she's been doing this in our schools for over 10 years or something. And she said, I've always paid a facility fee. But she pays it to, I don't know if it's the Ringe Rec or Jaffrey Rec. So they're collecting a facility fee for our facility, but we don't get any of that money. And so she said, you know, she was saying to me, you would charge a second facility fee? I mean, it was a very confusing conversation. And you can understand why. That she's being charged a facility fee to use our facilities, but we don't get any of that money. And I presume there's something similar happening with Pure Shop. Because because the rec department advertises and processes the information, I think is their thinking.
I'm in favor of waiving the fees, and this is why. It's all our local kids that are playing. If we start adding extra fees to this, now whoever puts this on has to bump up the rate to charge the kids more to cover the fees. That's why I'm in favor of waiving the fees. Because of that, it's going to cost our local kids more money to go.
Yeah, but if someone's taking in $4,500 a week, I think they could maybe pay $350 for facilities. I don't know.
Do you mind if I show something
yeah.
just real fast that's pertinent to this conversation?
Yeah.
Because part of the,
And I'll get the facility
yeah.
policy back up
the
again.
yeah, I'll give it right back to you. The,
Per like event, right?
just so that, and we have this agreement with Jaffrey, we gotta re-up the agreement, but an agreement that I sat down with Dan Bemis and with a former town administrator, went back and forth, and because the policy talks about if you have an MOU or an MOA with the town, then situations that are like this, we could do something a little bit different, because this is also a fundraiser, call it, this is their way of getting income for the rec department. So I understand what's happening. So what we did, you can see the prices that are in that. This was part of the memorandum of agreement that we tried to get passed through the Lynch Select Board. And so if you look at D, this outlines our behavior together, which would be, mutual, if we use each other's facilities, mutual cleaning, both parties agree to maintain clean and safe facilities. Each party agrees to follow the other party's safety protocols. We did have some challenges this year with that. That was a bigger issue, mostly at Jaffrey Grade School. Building access, how many fobs you can have. I think actually we ended up at one point agreeing to 6 fobs or keys, but that is, part of this conversation. Background checks, fingerprinting, that's all very important. And then we stated that, I'm looking for the paragraph now, right up here, I believe it is. If either party uses the other's facility when subcontracting, we call it subcontracting, so subcontracting programming to an outside entity that provides payment to the party sponsoring that said activity. The party offering the activity agrees to pay a nominal facility fee of $60 per usage, which reflects basic cost to maintain the facility and protect from outside entities using a particular facility without payment of rental fees and so forth. So basically, it was a reduced rate per occurrence that we were trying to agree with the community. I'm not going to go into what took place with this document, but I do think there's a value in trying to collaborate again and see if we can get an MOU. But this would have addressed that situation.
Is the $60 cover the custodial fee, or?
It considered, this right here in our conversations. This,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess I'd like to go back to the policy.
Sure, I'm just showing
That's cool.
there was an attempt at one point in time
Yeah.
to address. Yeah.
So I want to talk about the fee piece of it.
Yeah.
So this is the, okay. All right, so we're back on the policy. It's, to answer your question, Dan, custodial support fee is $45 an hour. Okay, so if we take a look at $45 an hour on a calculator, I'll put it up here. All right, so if we do 45 times 3, because it's a 9 to noon program, okay? So that's 135 a day, and then times 4 days goes $540 for 1 week of custodial fees. Then, if we add, go back to the policy, and add in the
Excuse me,
usage
how many hours
fee
are you doing in a day? 3?
for
It's
RMS,
$45 an hour.
You're right, 45 an hour, but how many hours?
3 hours. Pure Shot was
3
9
hours
to
to
noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pure Shot
After they
basketball was
use
9
it?
to noon. It says that on their thing here. Where'd it go? Pure Shot basketball camp. All right, 9 to noon. Okay? All right, so we have the per day is for the week, for 1 week, is $540 in custodial fees. Per the policy, for the JGS gymnasium, it's $100, RMS gymnasium, it's $150. So let's just stick with the JGS for now, because we have 2 weeks on that. So we're talking $400 added to this per week. So what we would be waiving is $940 per week that they're using Jaffrey, and then add another $200 for Ridge, so $1140 for Ridge. So the policy committee, if I can still speak for the policy committee, is saying we do not want to waive these fees for this program this summer. We're not saying ad infinitum. We're saying for this program this summer, we do not want to waive these fees. If we do not waive these fees, and should they say, then we have to only give it to the basketball players, to the children to do, then that's adding $25 to their $110 tuition for the week.
How do we know there's 45 planned?
That's how many openings they say. I mean,
Right.
But we don't know that, we don't know,
Max.
that's,
Max, but that's how many openings.
we don't know how many kids are
When you
playing.
look in the rec department thing, you can see how many people were signed up. Like the first week, there's like 38 kids that are signed up, but the last week, there's only 5 so far.
So, I don't really know, but I don't feel good about giving something away to a company making a profit when our taxpayers are putting so much pressure on us to keep the costs down. That's, you've got to strike that balance.
I don't think it is a company though, it's the Ringe Rec though.
No, it's
Well,
pure
see,
shot
that's my
basketball.
shot. I don't know. When he did it for Jaffrey, he was an employee of the town of Jaffrey. I signed his paycheck. He got paid.
So it's
by
a
the-
Ringe, it's a Jaffrey Rec
Like, is it an
department.
That's the way it was
independent
done in Jaffrey. I don't know how
Yeah.
he's done it in Ridge. But in Jaffrey, he was an employee, and he
Of
got a
the town.
paycheck from the town of Jaffrey. So I don't know. That's my, if he's,
Did
it
all of
matters.
his employees get that too? Did you pay all of the coaches?
no, we paid him.
And then he paid the coaches.
Out of his salary or out of the?
I don't know. This is complicated, and I don't
Right.
want to dwell on it. I really, want to move on, but I think this deserves more discussion.
Okay.
and thought.
So
And
do we
more
have,
facts.
do we have all the information we need to vote?
Is there a way to separate so the biggest issue surrounding usage has been custodial fees. The fact that we need someone to come in, clean up, and it's costing the schools and essentially our town's money. Is there a way to separate the usage fee or the space fee from just the custodial fee and charge one portion of it as opposed to all of it?
Yeah, I agree.
So charge just the custodial fees?
Yes, and then
Well,
waive
that's
the
a cost
space
to
fees.
to the school.
Right.
The space itself isn't really costing us if we're covering the maintenance of it, right?
I don't know, it's a resource. I mean,
So why don't we put that forward? So we could, why don't we vote on, how do we want to do this? Should we vote on splitting it? Should we vote on the total together?
I think we've got to vote on splitting it, because the rec department, the adult pickup,
yeah.
they don't pay for that.
Right, and they,
It's just a bunch of people to show up to play, right? For the
Right.
adult pickup.
My concern in splitting it is, I believe that this actually changes our policy. So we voted on the policy, I think splitting it is actually changing what we voted on. Like, say, we are supposed to be charging facilities fees. The whole reason we're asking this question is because we know Pure Shot Basketball is a for-profit. It's not, it's a separate entity from the Ringe Rec Department and the Jaffrey Rec Department. So we are changing the policy if we just say, let's split it.
Okay,
But,
so I'm a little bit confused.
But at the
there.
same time,
Yep, go ahead.
we have not been following the policy. Like, we have not been having the people in place to charge facilities fees, to charge custodial fees. We should have been doing this. We haven't had this in place. We are trying to rectify many things in doing this and continuing the conversations. So,
So can I ask a question? The summer basketball camp is for what age groups?
Grade 6 through 10, let's say.
I don't know anything about it, so
It says it on here,
Yeah.
this children entering grades 6 to 10.
6 to 10.
All right. Why don't we, because we're figuring out what's needed for our policy, let's split it. Okay? Let's talk about a vote on splitting the fees and only charging them custodial fees. That will be our first motion. Ally, is that a motion that you choose to make?
Yes.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
Ally has made the motion to split the fees, the total facility fees, and only charge Pure Shot basketball camps, the Ridge Rec Department program with this particular program for these dates, for Ringe and Jaffrey sightings, just the $45 per hour custodial fee. And we're using their hours. Are we adding, let's do this right now, are we adding an extra hour for setup and cleanup? Because right now, all we're talking about is the 3 hours that they're actually here, when we know that they're going to need setup and cleanup.
So I do have a question. I'm not trying to confuse everything, but we picked a number of 3 hours. I have no idea if it takes 3 hours.
Because it says 9 to noon is their hours
Oh, okay.
of the kids arriving.
Okay.
Kids are there from 9 to
Okay.
noon. But custodians will need to let people in, they'll need to lock up after, they'll need to sweep and mop. So,
Well, I think that 3 hours is fair because they're not going to be cleaning the gym while the class is going on. So 3 hours, I think, gives them an hour and a half before and an hour and a half after to take care of, setting up and cleaning and breaking down. That's
Mhm.
okay. Judy says that. Anybody else have input?
No, but I'll
Yeah,
second.
I'm concerned, I personally would add an extra hour because I know monitoring comes into all custodial work. They're always monitoring spaces, they are working during that time. They're not going to just be watching the basketball happening. And this is all happening off their hours.
so they need to be here to.
It's a weekend. It's not during
Okay.
The janitor stays there the whole time?
they would have
During-
to, yeah.
That's what they've always done?
Well, the question would be, could they,
These are weekdays.
their weekdays, would they be
Oh, for the summer
Opening up-
weekends.
Yeah, so,
Weekdays.
possibly doing some other tasks during the camp and then closing up, right?
mhm.
Right, like other clean tasks in the building unrelated to the basketball game.
This does commit them to that space when I know custodians are often used for like big paint jobs and carpet jobs that like you'll take all the custodians and bring them here to do major work in the summer and then bring everybody over to another place.
Okay, so they have to be there for.
So it
5 hours.
commits them.
Okay.
Another way of thinking about it, if I can ask,
Please, yeah.
is that if you split it the opposite way, with the 150 per day instead of the 130, it turns out to be 135 even across both schools, but JGS is 100 per day, so you could just charge for the actual use of the space. That's another way of looking at it. It's easy to do as well, if you felt that was fairer. So $100 instead of 135 is the difference at JGS, and 150 instead of 135 at RMS.
You mean plus the 3 hours?
Because you can split it either way.
Oh, without the 3 hours?
It's per event.
I think we should charge them
Separate.
$20 a day.
Now we're just making things up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's the other way to split it, because if you're splitting it in half like that, there's two ways of looking at it.
Is the space fee a per day fee, or is it a per event? Like per week?
I would say it's per day. I mean, that is getting awfully high. But I think that the custodians, no one can deny that they have a lot of work to do for something like this. I think the community would agree.
What if the group is using it 3 days in a row or 2 days in a row and we don't need a custodian to come in after every time?
They have to clean the bathrooms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
They
do.
have to clean the floors.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
You don't want
Messes
kids
in the
playing on a
hallway.
dirty floor because they
Spill
could
things,
slip.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I would fight to make it the custodial fee.
Yeah, I think,
I agree too.
And I wouldn't change the policy. Like, I really want to, like, that's a big thing to be, like you said, you're kind of done with the conversation, believe me, I'm there. But we can't just
Right,
randomly change a
absolutely.
policy that's for all groups everywhere that, you know,
right.
so.
Is summertime considered normal operating hours, or is that outside of regular hours? Like, how does that work?
Bringing mud in is bringing mud in.
Well, I'm talking about the policy, though. The policy has specific wording.
Yeah, there's no delineation, because we're a year-round facility.
Okay.
So-
People use our facilities year-round.
Do we have custodians on site during the day? So why do they have to stay in the gym for all the whole time? They could be working elsewhere.
Because they're doing other jobs. This is an extra job.
But during a regular school day, they're cleaning the gym also
Yeah.
as their regular job. So we're not adding an extra job. They're just continuing what they were normally doing.
Another way of looking at it is if you're going to do this, the custodian would be needing to clean every single day in that area, all the bathrooms, every single, because they're going to be utilized. If the space was not being used, then they wouldn't have to actually focus on
Right,
doing
they
any of
would
that.
be-
They could, because you're doing a deep clean within the summertime, and so you're focusing on areas for much longer periods of time. You're not just vacuuming and going through your daily routine. It's a very different routine in the summertime.
Yeah.
And so this is, you might not touch the gymnasium for a long period of time, if it weren't used. Or another space, if someone used the cafeteria. You may not touch the cafeteria, but if someone's using it, or they're using the bathrooms and so forth, then you're going to clean them on a regular basis.
Yeah, and again, custodians are the ones who do all of our summer upgrades, and they do get taken from school to school to do that. That's how we get our walls painted and rugs scoured and everything waxed. Because we don't hire outside groups to come in to do that. That's their role. So, let's stick with the first recommendation to split it to just charging custodial fees and waiving facilities fees for all 3 weeks for Jaffrey and for Ringe. That's the motion. Is there a second for that motion?
Dan seconded it.
Sandy seconds
No,
that?
Dan did.
Dan
Yeah.
seconds that? Dan seconds that motion. Okay, any further discussion on that motion? Okay, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstain? Okay, passes 6-1-0. All right. So, Ruben, would you please let the bodies know that that is the situation for that one? So now let's go to Ringe Rec Department Adult Pickup Basketball Program, RMS Gym, from June 14th through August 30th. And I don't see, so I don't see any times on this. Does anybody here, Dan or Jared, do you guys know anything about when that happens or the amount of time it happens for?
I
No.
think it's a Sunday evening.
That's why I know that it's on Sundays as well, but
Yeah.
I don't know how long.
Okay. And this is usually in the evening, right?
Yes.
Okay, and is this outside of normal custodial time? And so the custodians need to be there, again, for monitoring and bathrooms and stuff. So I would recommend, even though this is I would recommend that we include the custodial fees in this, but not the facilities fees, because this is a Ringe Rec program.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, we'll take a motion to that effect.
Yeah, just curious though, like, what was that running again? Sorry, I don't have it up.
June 14th.
To August
So how many
30th.
weeks is that? So it's 10 weeks.
But it's at one time a week, so it's three hours a week. Is that correct?
I don't know if it's 3 hours. That would make a difference on the amount, right?
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Let me see if I have an old email real quick.
Yeah, how long do they play? I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, let's take a motion on approving, excuse me, so this is not charging them a facility fee, but charging them the custodial fee again. So waiving any facility fee, but charging them custodial fee is what we're making a motion.
I was trying to get an idea of the amount for that,
How long? the
I would
program
guess it's 2 hours.
so we know how much we're waiving.
Yeah,
So
I would guess it's 2
$90
hours,
a
probably
week.
$90 a,
$90 a week, 10 weeks.
and again, it's not for kids, it's for grown-ups. It's not a student program.
Would we normally have custodians here on a Sunday evening?
Nope.
So that's an important one that we,
It is a big one. And this has been a concern in the winters when we've had the program that came up as a concern of the administration, that especially in the winter, when they'd come in on Monday morning and the place needed, that area, those areas that they used needed to be cleaned before they could actually get to what they actually had to be doing. So this did take extra time
and
for
not
them.
just this program, but all the weekend basketball programs that run through
And
the
monitoring
winter.
has been an issue. And
Yeah.
we do need to make sure that there's custodial staff there to monitor, or figure that piece out, because we've got to have people monitoring the doors. They can't be propped open. That's got to be taken care of.
Do you want custodians know that they're taking on a monitoring position?
Nope.
Okay, I'm not concerned as much with the monitor for the morning, but I am very concerned with them not monitoring it in the evening.
Yeah.
Um,
Gotcha. There was a drive-by shooting in Jaffrey during basketball season. So it's we know that there's risks and we need to keep our buildings secure.
Do we want to waive facility fees, keep custodial fees? I just think we have to. This is an off-time situation. Keep custodial fees with the addendum that we need proof that they will have a monitor on the entire time, not a dedicated door monitor, so that the door is not just left open and propped open.
Well, if we do that for them, then we're going to need to do it for others. Not that I don't think it's a
See,
good
that's part of this, is that we
Right.
have to be doing this, like for all programs. Right
Right.
now, these are the ones that are coming before us,
Yeah.
but we've got to be, like, we
Yeah,
have not
do-
been
we do
following
need
through
a
the security.
monitor, 'cause it
Yeah.
is a dangerous world, yeah.
Yeah, We've got.
I
we've got-
move that we waive the facility fees for the Ringe Rec Department adult basketball, but we charge them for the custodial fees.
Which will be $90.
If
Yep.
they're there 3 hours, we don't know if they're there if they're there 2 hours, yeah, $90.
a week. Let's see if it's on the thing. Okay. And do you want to say anything about the security?
I think we should.
No, if the custodians are there, that's
That's going to be their job?
going to be their job.
Okay.
I-
Can we,
Make
do
sure
you
people
think the
aren't roaming the
custodians
building.
will do that? Like, can we, do you think we can get the custodians for this kind of thing?
I think
That's not a
asking
usual
too
time.
much of them.
We can certainly ask.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or if this were a regular thing, yeah, we can ask.
Okay. I'm just looking to see if we actually have a schedule up here so that's for the basketball camp.
Adult one. No, that's-
Yeah, they haven't listed it on their site yet. Okay.
I do think the idea of a monitor could be important. I think perhaps we should hire one for any event that's going on.
The policy committee talked about making that a mandatory thing, that you need to have a paid monitor. I think if we say, for this one, we'll do custodian.
Okay, and then
Then-
move towards having a paid
Yep.
monitor.
Okay.
But now you're talking about increasing our budget, just so that quick
Yeah.
statement,
I know, but the safety concern of not having someone watch the door, God
I understand.
forbid something go wrong.
Yeah, it's-
but that's,
Oh, I get it, yeah.
just
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
those
I
things that
just-
increases our budget.
Yeah.
Even if it's revenue neutral, even if an outside group is paying for that position, it increases our budget.
Yeah, but that, in today's day and age, the idea of someone coming in here when the door is propped open, I think would scare any person, so. I'm
Yeah,
just-
no, I agree,
yeah.
we need to have it monitored, I'm just trying to make that point
Oh, no.
clear.
The basketball group on Sundays, do they pay to play type thing, or is it just?
I don't
for
think
group?
so.
So
Nope.
there's no profit in
I
it?
think it's a pure offering of the Winter Rec Department.
So wouldn't that fit a different category under a policy?
Nope, that puts them under 5. So, under 5, they can request a waiver. Where is it? Or is it under 5, okay, that puts them under 4. And so, no, there is no facilities fee. So you're right, we don't have to do a waiver on that because they're under a municipal community. And so there's no waiver for the facilities fees. It's the custodial fees we're talking about.
And so, just so other board members are aware, that other school districts charge custodial fees. I mean,
Regardless.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Keene School District right now, it's,
I see.
Yeah,
That's
Keene,
like something that
Conval,
could never be
Ipswich,
waived.
all of them.
Messinic, I think, says that if the program is run during regular custodial hours, those fees can be waived if it's like a rec program. But if it's after regular custodial hours, then the fee is applied.
Mhm.
So it's pretty standard.
Okay. So, the motion is custodial fees
Yes.
and not waiving the custodial fees. So charging them that. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Judy. And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Passes 700. Thank you guys so much for fighting through this. The policy committee will continue to fight through this because we're going to have whole new things coming up in the fall. We want to make sure we're supporting our community the best way we can, but really supporting our taxpayers as well. We've got to be able to show that we're being responsible with our facilities and with security. It's everything right now. Okay, I'm going to pass this back to you. You ready? All right. We have no new policies right now. The policy committee is meeting at the end of June when we might have some of the new legislation available. There's still massive amount in the works legislatively. Open enrollment is right back on the table in lovely new forms. The other thing that really people should be watching right now is the state both the Senate and the House have passed a bill to make it mandatory for towns to have a spending cap bill, a spending cap article on both their November and their March ballots. So we literally vote twice to have a spending cap placed on our town and schools' budgets. So that's going before the governor. I heard that June 4th was kind of the deadline for those, so we'll find out. But it simply could not be messier. Can you imagine having this constantly, all the time? All the time. That's what they're looking for now. So it's just very messy right now with the legislature, so please do be watching for that. It's going to take a while for the brand-new updated policies to come out, and the policy committee will be a bit busy this summer when they start coming forward. All right, are we ready for public comments number 2? Let's do it. All right. Anybody from the floor? Cool. So when you speak from the floor, we're going to ask you to use a microphone and state your name and your town of residence. You don't need your street for these. And the microphone doesn't amplify your voice, it's just for the online.
Okay, Dave Springfield, Jaffrey resident. I'm glad I came because I can really clarify a lot that is
Should've done it
going on
sooner.
here. Yeah, I wanted to. But, so first of all, I am an employee, 100% of the Ringe Rec Department. I drive their bus when they need it driven. They buy the T-shirts. They do everything. They pay any workers that work with me. They pay them. It is, and then I get paid by the Ringe Recreation Department. It is not a for-profit business. I am an employee of the Ringe Recreation Department. Okay, so just to clarify that. Secondly, I've done this for over 20 years, a lot in Jaffrey. I've never had a custodian in the gym, and a custodian has never cleaned the gym. The gym is cleaner when we're done because the people that are there clean it, and it takes about 20 minutes to clean it. Now, the bathrooms might be another story. Okay, there might be bathrooms. So for the 3 hours is, and no one's ever been, no one needs, it's a rec activity. I'm working for the rec department. So it's really not the fees. What's bothersome is the red tape to try to get kids in facilities. We cripple the kids if the facilities aren't used. I was an athletic director here. I was a coach I've been here 50 years, okay? These kids in these two communities need to be on fields. They need to be in gyms. One group's leaving, another group's coming in. That's the only way that we can ensure their success on the courts or the fields, and when they leave here, all the valuable lessons. It's not all about winning. It's the process of learning how to win that enables them to succeed in life, even if they don't win. But when we have too much red tape with, well, they can't use this and they can't use that, and it takes not just the coaches, it takes the community. It takes the community to start AAU programs, travel programs, volleyball programs, and they need facilities. And so without that, it's impossible for these small communities to compete against wealthier communities and communities that will just dominate us. And the standard has been set, and we've done it for years, and it's worked. We've been super competitive in all sports, and it's going to go away. And it probably won't come back unless we do something about it. It's not the money. Charge the fees. Whatever you need to charge, it doesn't matter. Just allow the kids and entice groups to come in. Ask volleyball groups to come in so our volleyball team can win a game. Ask, it's very, very important, okay, to promote the use of our facilities. There is a fee. Promote them. You have to sign waivers, you have to pass background checks, all that, but you need to promote it. And I run my camps because people just beg for them. They ask for them. I stop running them, they just keep asking. And I don't have 45 kids at the camp. I mean, the most I've ever had is probably 35. Usually it's 20, 25, it ranges. But it's the rec. So, again, I'm just all about letting the kids on the fields, in the facilities, whatever it takes, whatever fees you need to do to make it happen is really what I'm all about. And I appreciate everything you're doing. I'm a lifer, been here 50 years, okay, in this community. But the problem is I don't think the communication is coming from here to the people that are in charge of the gyms. So 5 or 6 girls basketball players came to me. I wasn't even going to do that camp, and they said, can you please run a all girls, because we want to be all girls. We don't want to be with the boys. And I said, well, sure, I'll do it. And so I go to Dan, and I said, they want to run another camp. So Dan contacts whoever's in charge of that and gets something back that says, I mean, I can read it right here. We have, here it is. This is the first one. Hello, Dan. There's no availability in the Pratt gym currently the entire summer. Have a nice day. And then I said, well, what about the morning? I mean, what about the afternoon? I don't even care. I'll do it at night. I don't care. I'll do it anytime. And so he emailed back and said, what about the afternoon? And the comment is, hello, Dan. We have tons of work being done in all of our 3 buildings that have already been scheduled around your 3 weeks that we have already provided. So that's pushback. I'll do it at 9 in the morning, 7 in the morning, 6 at night. I don't care. But what I'm seeing here is pushback. And that's not the community. If you want to anger the community, and more red tape, you think you're protecting the community, but it's angering the communities more, Ringe and Jaffrey. They feel like it's double dipping. They're already paying for the facilities through their taxes, and then all of a sudden you're asking for more money. So I just think we forget who it's about. It's about the kids. If you just put everything aside and just say, put whatever fees you want on it, but allow the kids and community members and coaches to come in and just work these kids, because it's the only way they can compete against these other teams, and it teaches them valuable lessons that they take in life. It's not winning. Winning isn't everything. Preparing to win is everything. And we need facilities to prepare these kids to win, just like you need classrooms to prepare them. So that's all I'm asking. The money, it's just invite the community in to use your fields and gyms and and I understand safety. I've been in education my whole life. I understand what you need. I understand the liability. But there's always a way around it. Instead of saying we can't do it, I've always looked at it, yes, you can do it. It's just going to be, we're just going to have to work around it a little bit. Okay? So think about the kids. And my camps are all ages. It's kindergarten through, the ones at the grade school are kindergarten through 4th or 5th grade, and then it goes 6th grade to 10, and then it's trying to get kids to fall in love with basketball, because that was my thing. Okay? But it's not just basketball, it's volleyball, it's soccer, it's baseball, it's every sport. These kids need this around here, so they get off the computer, they get off their phones, they feel good about themselves. But if we don't allow them in the summer to really improve their skills and get them invested in the grit and everything, they won't succeed during the season. I can just tell you that. I've been around here my whole life. I know the teams. They won't succeed. And then I drive bus now. So I see them get on the bus after a 12-0 soccer loss. Oh, we stink. And their heads down as they're getting on the bus. And that really hurts me when it happens, because that carries through. You know, they feel like they're letting down the community. And they don't want to let down the community. They want the community to be proud of them. But what we can do as a community is, like I just said, people have no problem paying the fees. They just want to use the facilities. And it can be 6 in the morning to 8. It can be 7 to 9. It can be 6 to 9 at night. Make it happen. Because if it happens, the community's happy, the kids are happy, and I think things will start to take off. But I'm sorry, I went a long way. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. David, thank you so much for the commitment that you have for.
Thank you guys for what you do.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, Allie Marr from Ringe, and I just wanted to build on what Ruben said earlier. We were at the staff meeting earlier today where they announced that Jimmy and Heather would be taking on that leadership role, and there was definitely like a collective relief and then jubilation. I think there's been a lot of uncertainty, and people are very excited, and I would just echo what many of you already mentioned about them. I think that they are faces that are well recognized in the community, well respected, and we're really excited to see what they can do. And I thank all of you for being willing to think outside the box and be able to be flexible and take on some innovative approaches to what was looking like it could be a real problem for us. So we're excited. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the floor?
Kathy? Nothing?
Okay, anybody online? Okay. Next up is our calendar of end-of-year events for board attendance. I made that title. So we don't need to attend everything, but board members are expected to attend as much as we can of the public events. and the not-so-public, meaning the graduation. Graduation does have limited tickets for the public. The board has set aside seats, and board members are expected to be there for the graduation, if at all possible. If there's, usually we get a number of us. We have a whole system for shaking hands and all that. So if we could take a look at the calendar, Ruben, the things that the board, you could just go through it and just make notes of the things the board is particularly invited to.
Sure. So on the, let me make sure I have this, the 11th.
I know. Yeah, the way the calendar
Yep,
is.
the way it is, yep.
Yeah.
So on the 11th, right here, you can see that from 6 to 8 o'clock, roughly, you would have scholarships and awards nights. Sometimes the board actually hands out scholarships, and sometimes I do that for the board, on behalf of the board when members can't make it. But that is a nice evening to see exactly, all these learners be recognized from their community, by and large. At Franklin Pierce University on Friday the 12th, from 7 to 8. Now it's really a little bit before that and a little bit after that. And then I believe they come back here, actually. No, they used to come back here. Yeah, I believe they have fireworks
Last year
here.
they had
Yeah,
fireworks
I
here.
think they have fireworks here because I sign off on that. But from at least the ceremony runs about an hour, 7 to 8 o'clock. And so we get there about 6:45, 6:30, 6:45, and then a little bit after 8 o'clock. That's at Franklin Pierce University.
And for the scholarship night, the board does not have a separate seating. We just sit with the adults. For the graduation, we do have separate seating. So you'd want to get plenty of parking and then go in, explain that you're a school board member, and you'll be directed to where the school board sits.
So we fast forward to the 16th of June. We have actually 2 events on the same evening. One of them is not up here, but I can tell you what that other event is that the RMS will have its 5th grade finale. Sometimes it's called the 5th grade celebration, a move-up day in a sense. So it's like a graduation, but we don't call it a graduation, not till they're through their senior year. And so that will be from 5:30 to 6:30. And so often what happens is those board members who are representing RING might attend that event. It doesn't stop, anyone can actually attend it. But that same night, starting at 5:15, right here, it's going to be Jaffrey Grade School is going to have their 5th grade class celebration, and that will be in the Jaffrey Grade School Gymnasium. So if there are some members who would like to go to that one, while other members go to the RMS one, that would be great. I often find myself going to part of one and then part of the other one, as I tend to hand out awards or read some sort of a statement from the President of the United States or something of that nature. Once in a while I do a speech, but I don't believe I'm being asked to this time around. I do speak at the high school graduation each time. And then 8th grade from 6 to 8. A little more casual than the other ones, typically. I don't know why that's the case. Maybe it's the last one. Maybe it's just the coolness of the middle school kids, I suppose, going from 8th grade on to 9th grade. And that's always a fun event. And so that's here, I believe. It's a celebration and dance. Now the celebration itself won't be, I believe, for the entire 2 hours, but it would start at 6 o'clock. And so as many people who would like to attend that, those are the events.
Are we invited to the dance too?
If you want to be a chaperone at the dance, and
Ooh, I want to dance.
well, I mean, if you're a chaperone, you can go on
I
a
just
roller
wanna see
coaster,
how
or
this
I'm just going to be DJing the event. I hear, as long as they have pizza. So, that will never happen. That would not be good. No one would show up.
All right.
Well,
Any
I'll be at the
questions?
graduation and the RMS fifth grade finale,
Mm-hmm.
since I got children in both.
Oh,
Wow, congratulations.
Thanks.
You have a kid graduating high school?
Like high school.
Congratulations. That's so cool. Christine did it last
So
year.
if,
and
if
she's
you're
up at the
looking for a board
stage.
member to pass out a diploma, I can pass it to them. I'm up for that.
That's fun. That's a very fun thing to do. All right.
We did secret handshakes when my son was graduating from 5th grade, and all his buddies.
That'll be fun because it's live streamed, and we'll get to see you sob like a little baby. Because you'll be right up there, right in front of you. Never mind, you won't do that.
Don't
Tears-
ask me to do a speech.
Tears of happiness. Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. Any questions on the calendar? Cool. All right. The other board matter I wanted to just bring up is did any other committees meet since we've gathered together in 2 weeks?
Well, the health and wellness did. Hey, a couple times.
Nice.
So we had our meeting. There was a lot of input on the lunches, of which I wish had been given to us before we voted on the contract.
Uh-oh.
So Ally and I went to lunch at the high school and at the middle school. Well, I'm a fussy eater, but it was nothing I was impressed with. I did think the middle school was the better deal. The high school, I was kind of like, yeah, no.
What did you eat?
They had some rice dish and curry chicken.
It was good.
Yeah.
I like I like lots of spice and flavor, and for an adult, I was like, this is great. My children, on the other hand, were like,
They were like me. So then you were left with pizza, which is not my favorite either. And that they had a salad bar, which was nice, but actually the salad bar at the middle school was a lot nicer.
yeah.
And they did have the grab and go, so they had salads and they had stuffed sandwiches that you could make, and they had things like that. The middle school was having brunch day, so they were having, which is the best part of the day. They had eggs and, yeah, they had eggs, and they had eggs and toast and bacon and sausage.
Hash
and
browns.
Yeah, hash browns. And they had a lot of stuff in the grab and go. And their salad bar I thought was wonderful. I could eat up that salad bar. But,
So you're a brunch person.
yeah, I'm a brunch person.
This was
I'm not a curry person.
This was a heavily biased report from you, and we're not used to that. Now we
So-
know food is a trigger.
I think that it was interesting. I think they're trying hard, and we might go on a couple of other unannounced occasions to see what it was like. I just think serving curry chicken to high schoolers is probably, I bet that didn't go over good. I did ask, I was a little bit disappointed, I did ask Abigail after the meeting for the numbers, and really we only have, really in all of the schools, pretty much 50% of the kids participating in the lunch program, which I thought was a little disappointing. So,
Interesting.
Ally, anything or Christine?
No, I would agree with what Sandy says. It was nice. I mean, I thought kids had a good selection in both locations. Just if they didn't like the hot meal that was being served, there were other options, and lots of veggies and fruits, which was good to see. I think some of the people on the wellness committee were a little concerned that they didn't know that the presentation was happening with the food services, like
Right.
the last meeting. That caught everybody off guard a little bit. Because I think they maybe had some input or something, but, so there were a couple comments around that.
Can I ask if you noticed how quickly students are moving through the line? Because that's been a concern.
Well, we went during the smallest lunch, so there was maybe like 2 tables, not even, of students, and then there was us.
and then we'll get the middle school that we
Oh.
were between, and then the 8th graders come.
Came
Look
running
out.
down
Get
and
out
we
of the
ran
way.
Lisa, can we have our student rep answer that question? how quickly the line moves?
Usually it's like decently, like actually slow. It's moderately slow, but it really all depends on like how many students are like actually there and like what is actually available on each day. But usually it moves either like moderately slow or like just slow.
Do you have time to go through the line and eat the food that you chose and chit chat?
I don't usually go down whenever there's lunch. I usually just bring whatever like I like, and then I go to the library. But
If you're a upperclassman.
I think people usually have enough time.
They have circular tables here. I think you've seen that, several of them. And so during that time of the day, if it sometimes is when I'm coming through, either checking out the little oral center or going to a meeting or whatever. And there are quite a few individuals here who already have their food and are socializing at the table, so not in the cafeteria. So I didn't see them in line. Maybe they get there really fast and they're the first ones and they're able to come out here, but they're certainly, they appear to have the time to eat.
That was just one of the comments that had come up in the past years, was that the line moved so slowly that kids didn't feel they had the time to actually eat their food, or most likely eat and socialize, right? Because it's important that you're on time. So I'm glad to hear that's been improved.
Very good input. Thank you, guys. Did any other groups meet? Education committee or anything? Or
What did you ask?
Did any other
Other groups, did any other
Committees.
No, but I was in the wellness, so I agreed that they were all saying that. Well, we weren't aware that there was a thing we'd like to have participated in the conversation that was here, because they didn't feel that the food items were.
What was your input on the curry chicken?
I didn't have any of it. I didn't try it, but I think it's like Ally says, some people may like it and others don't, so it's kind of a
I'd
preference.
vote yay for curry chicken. Spicier the better.
I was happy with the selection.
Yeah, it is a personal choice.
It sounds like a good selection, though. You got
Right.
rice,
Some
chicken,
variety.
pizza, salads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I went to school, your choice was beef ravioli. It might have been frozen.
And if
Right.
you didn't like
Shepherd's
it,
So-
pie.
yeah.
Sounds like-
Shepherd's pie.
Scoop the mashed potatoes.
Are there any committees meeting before we come together next?
No, but I wanted to, well, I shouldn't say no, but I wanted to make the point to the education committee that we are not meeting in June because of all the scheduling and extra events, but we will meet in July.
Okay.
We do have a facilities, I believe, it's,
On the 15th at 4 o'clock.
yes, facilities/finance, right?
Yes.
So same day.
Yeah.
Just before the meeting.
Cool. All right. What time does education meet?
5:30.
Really?
It's a little bit later, yeah.
I'm wondering, you know how I've been talking about really wanting to get the strategic design going? If it's that late, I'm wondering if the board could actually start using that as a kickoff for how we want to prepare our strategic planning. Use that particular meeting for that.
Well, how would we do that and not be in conflict of meeting rules?
Well, they're all public meetings anyway.
Oh, that's true. So you just
Yeah.
be there as a
Right.
member of the public.
Right. I mean, we can have a non-meeting. It's not a decision-making meeting.
Yeah, for goal setting.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
So what day is that? Do you have
It's the second Thursday of the month.
second Thursday of July?
Yeah.
Would
But
people-
we have plans for this first meeting, the July meeting.
You have plans for the July one already? Fine.
I'm on top of it.
Thought this was a good plan. Never mind. Okay, we'll figure it out.
But if we need to switch it, we can possibly.
Think if you could consider that.
Yeah.
That might work really well for doing a kickoff goal setting. It'd be nice to get it in July, if that's possible.
Okay.
And not adding to everybody's extra meetings would be ideal. All right, anything further we're missing? All right, people. I know.
Is it really over?
It's really not even 8 o'clock.
Get home when it's light out.
I don't have anything that we need to talk about tonight.
I move that we adjourn.
Thank you, Sandy. Is there a second? Thank you, Judy. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Anybody not want to go home yet? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.